The technical difficulties we've experienced here this morning. As you know, this is the first of 4 meetings, public meetings, that we are having as a opportunity for members of the public to address our redistricting maps, our 5 scenarios that are currently online, and which we will go over here in just a few minutes. My name is Patrice Horstman. I'm the supervisor for District 1 and also a chair of this board. Here with us this morning is Vice Chair Geronimo Vasquez, also Supervisor Judy Begay from District 4, and Supervisor Lena Fowler from District 5. Supervisor Matt Ryan from District 3 is not able to attend today, but obviously this is being recorded and he will be made aware of comments and discussions that occurred here today. As you know, this is our first of the public meetings that we will have on the input from the 5 scenarios that are currently listed on the Coconino County website for public viewing. This redistricting process is part of a requirement every 10 years, consistent with a new census, that we review our district lines and district populations, and if necessary, to reapportion these district boundaries in order to have substantially similar equal populations within the 5 districts. This is to preserve that one person, one vote principle of our Constitution. And we are allowed to have a population disparity or deviation of plus or minus 5% with these district redrawings. Now, as I said, these 5 district scenarios currently, or these 5 scenarios redrawing the districts, currently meet this population requirement, but they have different lines drawn that do affect the district boundaries and do affect the precincts that may be in these districts. You'll note that a precinct that was in one district may in fact now be in another district. All precincts have stayed together. We have not divided any precincts. So now it's the time for us to hear from you. This is a listening session for the board. We are looking forward to hearing from you and learning from you about your feelings on these 5 different scenarios. So the board members, as we agreed to in our prior meeting, will not provide comments, nor will we be here to answer questions. However, we have the experts here with us. Our staff will present the 5 scenarios and will in fact answer any questions you may have, receive your comments, and we all, again, will have an opportunity to hear your thoughts on these maps. Of course, this is one of 4, and so please let your neighbors, your friends, also know about this. Refer them to the Coconino County maps on coconino.az.gov, our website, which will refer you to our redistricting maps. The board has also adopted guidelines for the development of these districts and for redrawing the districts. The criteria that the board has used and which we want to get input from the public on are that we draw districts of approximately equal population with a standard deviation of 5% is permitted. Less deviation is even better. We too do not dilute the voting strength of racial and/or language minority groups. We preserve the ability of minority districts to elect representatives of their choice. And when considering the ability of districts to elect minority representatives, the voting age population should be considered rather than just the census population numbers. 3, we preserve communities of interest. Number 4, the districts must be compact and contiguous. Use census block boundaries as district boundaries and do not split voting precincts. Next is to maintain the traditional geographic and political boundaries. Next is do not create a substantial long-term negative effect on a specific political party. Political parties should have a fair chance to influence the political process. Next, base the new plan on existing districts to the extent possible. And last, when drawing district boundaries, take into account current incumbents and where they reside. So these were the standards, these remain the standards and the guidelines for the governing board as we move forward in this redistricting process. So the staff is going to present the 5 scenarios as I indicated, and we'll be here to answer your questions. So now it's the time to turn this over to our county manager, Steve Peru, who will introduce the staff and will proceed with introducing the scenarios and hear from you, the public. So again, thank you all. Thank you for your patience this morning. And please, County Manager, take it away.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, welcome to the public for being here today. As Supervisor Chair Horstman indicated, the first session out the gate, a little clunky here and there, but also take into consideration that this is the first time in 10 years we've done it. So it's a process that we do every 10 years. This is my 4th redistricting cycle at Coconino County, and so it's good to be providing this information to the public. As the chair indicated, we do have a couple slides that I'll go through just to reinforce what the chair has provided to you today. So if I can just go to the next slide very quickly. Claire, thank you. So as the chair indicated, we are providing the process of the framework pursuant to state and federal law to create districts here at Coconino County. Also want to make an important note that the county redistricting boundaries are also shared by the Coconino Community College District. And so our community college district, which was formed in the early 90s, was created based on the Coconino County supervisorial districts. And so what we're talking about today in terms of the process and the product will also be used by the Coconino Community College District in their district governing board elections. The population, as you see on the slide, 145,101. And then dividing that by 5 gets us the target population. And as our chair indicated, we do have a range. And so there's a plus or minus. And so the maximum population, 30,471, the minimum, 27,569. And we also want to make note that as the chair indicated, all of our information, you can go to coconino.az.gov/redistricting and then emailing comments to us at the address you see below. We want to make a note on that. So the information that you provide today, we're going to be capturing that. We're recording this as well. But it's important for you all, also the general public, to utilize the redistricting email because that provides us the opportunity to memorialize all of the information we did receive. And so please do not hesitate to email at that email address. Next slide. Let's go back. As I said, as the chair indicated, every 10 years, we also, of course, the state of Arizona recently provided the same process in which the legislative and congressional lines were also formed. And I also indicated that the community college also uses the same districts. Next slide. The state law, so Arizona Revised Statutes 212, the board shall meet at the county seat on before December 1st. And I highlighted December 1st because that was different this year. Because of COVID, the entire census process was delayed. So had that not occurred, we would have been wrapping up redistricting before December 1st. As a result of COVID, there was special session law was created to allow counties additional time. I believe it goes up until later till midsummer, if you will, before the counties are deadlined to get it done. But in our case, we're pushing this process sooner than later in order to provide information back to the general public. So again, the process, the board meets, they do the redistricting, and the rest, of course, is indicated in the statute here. Next slide. As the chair indicated, the reason for the population division and it being as equal as possible is attributable back to the Equal Protection Clause ensuring that individuals have the one person, one vote. It also provides that balance, if you will, in terms of population and representation. And so that's why each of the districts are created in such a way that they're equal, as nearly as equal in terms of population as practicable, as you see in the quote here. Next slide. Voting Rights Act. So the Voting Rights Act of 1965 has been guiding, of course, local and other levels of government voting since that time. Section 5, though, is a particularly important section because prior to this election cycle, the county was required to submit changes. And if you'll see here, the quote, Section 5 was enacted to freeze changes in election practices in covered jurisdictions until the proposed changes were determined to have neither discriminatory purpose or effect. Arizona and Coconino County is a covered jurisdiction. And so prior to Shelby, the Shelby case in 2013, which of course was ultimately decided by the Supreme Court, Coconino County was required to submit all changes that were created through the redistricting process to the Department of Justice for their review. And so that was the process until change in the legislation, actually not change in the legislation, just in terms of the Supreme Court ruling, Section 5 does not apply anymore. And so we do not, as a county, as a covered jurisdiction, we're not required to submit changes to the Department of Justice as we had in prior election cycles. Next. However, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act does remain in place. And so, of course, here you see the no voting qualification or prerequisite to voting or standard practice, procedure shall be imposed or applied by any state or political subdivision to deny or abridge the right of any citizen of the United States to vote on account of race or color. Counties, of course, are subdivisions of the state. And so Section 2 does apply to Coconino County. Therefore, going back to the guidelines that we've adopted, those have been previously adopted by the Department of Justice and were adopted by the Board of Supervisors late in 2021. Next slide. The chair covered the redistricting guidelines, and this is the agenda item from 2011 that was adopted on that date. And so you can see, as the chair indicated, the guidelines that Coconino County has adopted for this redistricting cycle. Next slide. And we want to draw, of course, the public to the website, coconino.az.gov/redistricting. Let's see, thanks for doing that, Claire. So click on that and you will see the website for Coconino County, and scroll down. It's a flow of information that provides a lot of areas of importance. It also has the redistricting scenarios that we're going to be presenting today. And in a moment, we're going to be turning this part of the navigation over to our GIS experts, Nate and Margot, to walk through the scenarios, and Sue Brown will be narrating the changes that are proposed in each of the different scenarios that you see. So we really want to encourage the public to go to the website and study it, and there's information also included as the timeline that we'll be following, ultimately concluding with April 12th, when we're tentatively scheduled to adopt the maps based on the public input, and the board will be doing so by that date and time. Scrolling on down, public input dates, you can see we're having our first one today. So having that, it's today on Thursday, the 17th, the 23rd, and the 29th. And these are the public input dates. And I also want to make note that public input can happen anytime. So of course our website is live, active 24/7, and so we encourage the public to provide input to the scenarios relative to our redistricting efforts. And then the FAQs you can see here, and a lot of more information. We did add the state of Arizona redistricting process because part of our process included pausing, if you will, wait for the IRC, the Independent Redistricting Commission, to do their job, or their work rather, so that the county could finish theirs up. Okay. And then I think that would be it. Claire, you can go back up to the PowerPoint.
And then at this point, I will stop sharing my screen so Nate can share his screen to go over the scenarios.
Well, you want to, let's go back up because
Oh,
there's a protocol. Please go back to this. So the protocol for comment, we have the raise hand function on Zoom. If you're coming in or connecting via phone, you can press *9. When you do address the board, please add your full name and address. And then we're, of course, just in the interest of time, limiting individuals to 3 minutes of input. And then, of course, redistricting website, or the email rather, is there for the public to utilize at their leisure. So with that, I think we're ready to go back to the scenarios. And Madam Chair, we are on number 4 of our, actually, we're ready to do the walkthrough of the scenarios. So we're going to turn over navigation of this to Nate Wren. And then also I'm going to ask Sue Brown, Deputy County Manager, and she's going to narrate the changes that are proposed in each of the scenarios. And so Sue, are you ready to go?
I am, County Manager Peru. Thank you.
Okay, and then Nate, you ready to go? I think he is. I can see it right here. So Sue, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. First, we'd like to draw your attention to the first tab on the redistricting website under the redistricting scenarios, which is the current Coconino County supervisoral boundaries. And of course, these are also the community college's boundaries as well. So you can see them, they're denoted. Each district has a different color, and that color scheme will follow for all of the proposed scenarios as well. Next to them, to the map to the left, is the demographics under each current boundary. So Nate, can you click on that so they can see that blown up? So what you see there is the first column being total population for the district in the boundaries that you see in the map, and that follows through for all the scenarios as well. Currently, the population for District 1 you see is 32,280. Population for District 2, 30,091. District 3, 31,931. District 4, 25,931. And District 5, 24,868. And then you see the target for each one of the districts underneath. And you can see that under the current populations, that there needs to be some adjustment to District 1, and several of them, because the 2 bottom ones are under in population, and the 2 District 1 and District 3 are over in population. So that's what we're doing here, is we're going to do some redistricting. So you can go back, Nate. You just click on the X in the upper right. That takes that information back. And then Nate, can you show us with this current one how you can dial in further into and focus on certain particular areas? So you can see closer and closer how those boundaries go. And these boundaries follow precinct lines. Thank you. So you can see that particular precinct, or District 2 has a 10 census of 27,292. You see the 2020 census population, the population difference, the percentage difference. And so it shows you where there's deviations, that 5% deviation that's allowed in each one of those places. Thanks, Nate. So we're going to begin with scenario C, which is the first of 5 proposed scenarios. And so once we click on scenario C, you perhaps notice that some of the boundaries of the districts have changed and are going in different directions, precinct by precinct, along some of their boundaries. Again, they're color coded, with the pink color being District 1, the brown or tan color being District 5, the lavender color being District 4, the blue color being District 2, and the green color being District 3. Thanks, Nate. And again, the districts must, what you see in that, the bullet points under the demographics, you see those guidelines. And those are our guidelines that we looked at in all of these proposed scenarios. Okay, for the particular changes in this one, first I'm going to ask Nate to start in. We're going to dial into Flagstaff. Because there is greater population in Flagstaff, there are more precincts and they are smaller in size. So we're going to do basically a bit of an inset into them. And as you can see, you can see the railroad lines, I believe. Well, it's not the railroad line, but you can see some of the major areas and neighborhoods that are in this inset. The numbers that you see captured are precinct numbers. Okay, so as you look at this, I'm going to ask Nate to follow as I read along, and we'll start with scenario C. The first change to scenario C is that Flagstaff Precinct 8 moves from District 1 to District 2. Thank you, Nate. The next change is Flagstaff Precinct 17 moves from District 2 to District 4. There you see it there. Out in the off of 89A. Then you see Flagstaff Precinct 18 moves from District 2 to District 4. Thank you, Nate. Flagstaff Precinct 23 moves from District 3 to District 2. Blue Ridge District 41 moves from District 4. Got it, Nate? And you'll note as you move the tool around, it needs to catch up a little bit occasionally. Just be patient. It'll come back in its full detail. So again, Blue Ridge District 41 moves from District 4, which is the lavender color, to District 2, which is the blue color. Then we're going to go up to Cameron, Nate, which is Precinct 43 in Cameron. That is going to move from District 4 to District 5. So from the lavender, which is District 4, to the beige color, which is District 5. Then we move to Fernwood, Nate. And that we have Fernwood Precinct 52 moving from District 2 to District 5. Then we have Forest Lakes, Nate, down to the south. There we go. Precinct 53, Forest Lakes, is moving from District 4 to District 2. Our next one, Nate, will be Grand Canyon. This is Precinct 59 in Grand Canyon under this scenario. It would move from District 1 to District 5. Our next one, Nate, will be Inscription House, Precinct 61. There we go. Precinct 61, Inscription House, will move from District 5 to District 4. Then we go to Mormon Lake, Nate. That is Precinct 63 at Mormon Lake. And it moves from District 4 to District 2. Our next one is Navajo Mountain, Nate. We'll move Precinct 71, Navajo Mountain, from District 5 to District 4. Now we're at Ranches North, Nate, 81. That is Precinct 81, Ranches North, from District 1 to District 3. And finally, Ranches South, Nate, Precinct 84, Ranches South, moves from District 1 to District 3. And that's the total changes in precincts for scenario C. And Nate, why don't we look at the demographics one more time so we can see the change in demographics for scenario C. I'll let you note in the audience, I'll let you note that when you see the lines that are drawn at the ends of the bars, you'll see the changes denoted. So previously in the current scenario, that is where the population was for the non-Hispanic white. And you see that has changed. This is the first column is total population. The second column is total voting population. Those are different numbers. And then the third column is registered voters by party affiliation. Okay. And the first one you'll look at when you're doing this is you want to look at the very first column, which of course shows the total population. It must make the target population, which is that 5.5% deviation. Okay. Great. Thank you, Nate. Okay, with that, we'll move to scenario D1. And we've got some fairly major changes in this one, particularly to District 2. You see it gets inside Flagstaff. And we'll start off with the changes under scenario D1. So the changes begin with precinct 8 in Flagstaff. It goes, you there, Nate? Thank you. From District 1 to District 2. Then we go to precinct 18 in Flagstaff. Thanks, Nate. It goes from District 2 to District 4. Precinct 19 in Flagstaff goes from District 2 to District 4. Then precinct 20 goes from District 3 to District 2. Thanks, Nate. Then we'll go to Cameron, which is precinct 43. And Cameron will move from District 4 to District 5. Then we go to Fernwood, Nate. That is precinct 52, and it goes from District 2 to District 5. Thank you. Then we go up to Inscription House again. Inscription House is precinct 61. It goes from District 5 to District 4. Thank you, Nate. Then we go for precinct 63 back south to Mormon Lake. Precinct 63 Mormon Lake goes from District 4 to District 3. Our next one is back up to precinct 71 Navajo Mountain. Navajo Mountain precinct 71 goes from District 5 to District 4. Then we're going to go to Ranches, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, goes from District 1 to District 3. And Ranches South, Precinct 84, goes from District 1 to District 3. That is the total changes for scenario D1 from the current. And let's look at demographics again, Nate. For scenario D1, again, checking that target makes target, they all do. Then total population column, you'll see how that changes for each one of the districts. And then you'll see the total voting population changes for each one of the districts under this scenario. And finally, the registered voters by party affiliation changes for this scenario for each district. Thanks, Nate. Okay, so with that, we will move to scenario D2. Thank you, Nate. And we'll dial in a little bit on scenario D2. Going into the inside of the Flagstaff districts, we'll start again with Flagstaff 8. These are changes to scenario D2, beginning with precinct 8, Flagstaff. It goes from District 1 to District 2. Flagstaff 18, precinct 18, goes from District 2 to District 4. Precinct 19, Flagstaff, goes from District 2 to District 4. And precinct 20 goes from District 3 to District 2. Then we're going to Cameron, Nate. And that is just precinct 43 in Cameron goes from District 4 to District 5. Then we go to Fernwood, Nate. Fernwood, precinct 52 goes from District 2 to District 5 under this scenario. Then we go to Grand Canyon, Nate. Under D2, Grand Canyon, precinct 59 goes from District 1 to District 5. Then we go up to Inscription House, Nate. Precinct 61, Inscription House goes from District 5 to District 4. Then we go back down to Mormon Lake. Precinct 63, Mormon Lake goes from District 4 to District 3. And we're back up to Navajo Mountain, Nate. Precinct 71, Navajo Mountain goes from District 5 to District 4. And then the ranches again, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North goes from District 1 to District 3. And precinct 84, Ranches South, goes from District 1 to District 3. And that is the total changes from the current scenario to scenario D2. And let's look at those demographics again. Great. Again, checking the population that it makes target, which it does. Then you're looking at the total population again, how it's changed in each district with this scenario. Total voting population changes then. And finishing up with the registered voters by party affiliation. Thank you, Nate. Thank you. We'll go to scenario E. And this time we will start with precinct 10 in Flagstaff. All righty, thank you. It's a bit north of the tracks. Precinct 10 in Flagstaff will move from District 1 to District 2. And then we have precinct 16 Flagstaff. And that will go from District 2 to District 1. Then we have precinct 18. And that will go from District 2 to District 4. Then we go to Flagstaff 23, precinct 23, goes from District 3 to District 2. Next is Flagstaff 29, precinct 29, goes from District 1 to District 3. Then we're down in Blue Ridge, Nate. Precinct 41 in Blue Ridge goes from District 4 to District 2. Then we're up to Cameron, Nate. We'll wait until that shows if you want. Sorry about that. Back up to Cameron. Cameron precinct 43 goes from District 4 to District 5. Then we're in Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 in Fernwood goes from District 2 to District 4. Then we're back south in Forest Lakes. Precinct 53 in Forest Lakes goes from District 4 to District 2. Thank you. We're up in Grand Canyon on precinct 59. Grand Canyon goes from District 1 to District 5. And then we're in Mormon Lake 63. Mormon Lake 63 goes from District 4 to District 2. Then we're in Ranches, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, goes from District 1 to District 3. And also Precinct 84, Ranches South, goes from District 1 to District 3. And that is the final change for scenario E. We'll go to demographics. For demographics, we're checking first population, and it does meet target populations. Then we look at the total population changes per this scenario from the current. And total voting populations. And finally, the registered voters by party affiliation for each district, the changes from scenario E, from the current to scenario E. Thanks, Nate. And we'll do our final scenario, which is scenario F. And we'll start inset again, Nate, with precinct 8, Flagstaff. Precinct 8 in Flagstaff. We'll wait for the numbers. We'll go from District 1 to District 2. Then precinct 10 Flagstaff will go from District 1 to District 2. Then we're at 18 Flagstaff, precinct 18 in Flagstaff will go from District 2 to District 4. Then we go to 23 in Flagstaff, which will go from District 3 to District 4. Then we're in Blue Ridge, Nate. Blue Ridge, District 41. Blue Ridge District, Blue Ridge Precinct 41 will go from District 4 to District 3. Thank you, Nate. Then we'll go up to Cameron. Precinct 43 in Cameron will go from District 4 to District 5. Then we're back to Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 will go from District 2 to District 5. Precinct 53 then, Forest Lakes. Precinct 53, Forest Lakes, will go from District 4 to District 3. Then we're back north, Nate, to Precinct 61 at Inscription House. Precinct 61 Inscription House will go from District 5 to District 4. Then we're back south, Nate, to 63 at Mormon Lake. Precinct 63 Mormon Lake will go from District 4 to District 3. Thank you. And we'll go back north to Precinct 71 Navajo Mountain, and it will go from District 5 to District 4 under this scenario. And our final change for scenario F is in 84 Ranches South. Precinct 84 Ranches South will move from District 1 to District 3. We're just gonna wait a second until that number shows up. There we go. Again, Precinct 84 Ranches South goes from District 1 to District 3. And that is the final change for scenario F. Let's look at the demographics. And we'll check first our population to make sure we make targets, which we do. Then we'll look at the total population per district under this scenario. And then the total voting population in these districts per this scenario. And finally, as always, the registered voters by party affiliation per district under scenario F. Thanks, Nate. And Mr. County Manager, are there any questions or you'd like us to return to any particular area?
I think we've covered all the scenarios, and so we're going to ask Claire, can you put up the public input part where individuals can, so you can unshare, Nate, sorry about that, at least for the moment. And then we're going to put up the slide showing the process by which the public can have the opportunity to provide comment. Sure, Claire.
Certainly, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. And if you'd like to make a public comment, go to the bottom of the screen and click the raise hand icon. That will notify us that you would like to speak. And if you are on the phone, please press *9. I'm getting a slight delay on sharing my screen. Give me one.
Oh, you're doing that. I'm going to read into the record. And for those individuals that did put a question in the chat, I'm going to read them and answer them verbally. A reason being is that we're recording this session and we want to make sure that all of the items that have been raised are captured on the record. And so one of the questions comes to us asking, please define a community of interest. Community of interest definition that we have looked at and we've been using basically is simply a community of interest is just a group of people with common interests. Some of the common interests may be social, cultural, racial, ethnic, also the economic interests of the population of that area. So looking again, community of interest, simply put is individuals, a group of individuals with a common interests, and some examples of that. Okay. And so I'm going to zoom back out to see from the participants if we have any raised hands. And
at this time, I do not see any raised hands. Again, if you're using a telephone, you can push *9, and it looks like we are starting to get some hands up. So one moment, again, if you're using a phone, you can press *9 or the raise hand function on Zoom. I believe now we will go to Marilyn Ruggles. Marilyn, I will unmute you and allow you to talk. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Marilyn, you're still muted on our end.
Now I should be
Yep,
unmuted.
there you go. We can hear you. Go right ahead.
Okay, my name is Marilyn Clemens Ruggles. I live at 11731 North Copeland Lane, Flagstaff. I am disappointed that our Fernwood District 52 is not staying with Flagstaff, but I understand the restraints. And so I'm going to comment on my preference of the 5 scenarios. My preference would be scenario E. And the reason I choose that is because of a community of interest. We definitely have a community of interest with Donny Park. We are presently working on a revision to the Donny Park Timberline Fernwood plan. So we're already working with them. We share the Summit Fire and Medical District, which is a big community of interest, especially right now when we're looking at the possibility of losing a fire station. So that would be my preference. I think scenario E also equalizes out the physical distances of the 5 districts better than some of the others. C does that as well, but C puts us in District 5, and I would prefer to stay in District or go to District 4 just because of the community interest. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your comment. Appreciate it. Okay. Others that want to make the comment? We don't see any other hands raised. Again, always you can send notes to redistricting@coconino.az.gov. The storyboard, redistricting, coconino.az.gov/redistricting. That storyboard, our website is always open. The maps that we've gone over, the scenarios, the mapping tool is very user-friendly. Even I can use it. That's how friendly it is. Provides the opportunity for individuals to go on and look at it, drill down, to precinct level, look at the scenarios and, make some comparisons. And when you zoom out, you're able to pretty quickly look at the comparisons in terms of just the visual part. And so we encourage individuals to use the tool. It is a good tool. Really want to credit our GIS team for creating what we think is a very user-friendly tool for individuals to look at. Again, we'll be continuing to receive public input. The board is scheduled to take action on redistricting maps April 12th. But of course, anytime during that time, please provide input. Give another call out for individuals that would like to make any comments with us today.
Steve?
Yes,
This
go right
is
ahead.
Sue. With your permission, maybe we can go back to the redistricting website and go through the supplemental materials so folks know what other tools they have available.
Before you do that, Sue, I'm going to just read a comment.
Of course.
Comment, I appreciate the analysis of multiple options for balancing by population, voter registration, geography, et cetera. So much balancing. And again, thanks so much for the comment. Karen Mellis Clark provided that. And just for the record, I do want to indicate Janet Cohen had asked the question about community of interest. Okay, and then Sue, back to you.
Thank you. Either Claire or Nate, can we go back to the redistricting? There we go. Perfect. So we took you briefly through this, but let's go ahead and click the supplemental scenario info. And you can see the map packet that is available to you. You can print out or just see them all at once without being in the tool itself. A little bit of a delay, but it's coming back. There we go. It's a PDF. You can go through everything there. And it just kind of makes you can print everything out. You can take a look at it, see how it works for you. It comes with each scenario demographics, just like we just showed. You can verify numbers, take a look at them. You'll see that in each map, the precincts are numbered and clearly shown there. It allows you the ability to go side by side for all the different scenarios as well. Thank you.
And then Sue, can you go to the spreadsheet, also the Excel sheet?
Yeah, if you can go back out of the map packet and go to the supplemental precinct list, which this is a piece of information that I was just reading from. So there are two different versions of it. We'll start with this one. The first one that you see it's actually arranged by district. So if you want to know what precincts are in which district, it shows you. Oh, I'm sorry, this one is the one. This is the one I actually read from. So as you go down in scenario C, the highlighted ones under scenario C row, you will see are in yellow, and then you can see that correlates to a change in the assignment of that precinct per district. So flag 8 in scenario C moves from District 1 to District 2. So you'll see that on down. Anything that's highlighted is a change from the original. There's also some coding for some of the changes that we made to precincts because of the IRC or other small changes we had to do to fix some boundaries previously. But anything that's changed, you can see is highlighted under its particular scenario. It was a great tool just to track those changes between them.
Thanks. Okay.
And then Nate, the voting age populations, information by district. And then the last item there in the last bullet point, precinct-based redistricting coloring sheet. If you want to, just see what it looks like if you want to change things up yourself, that allows you to do it by hand and do some coloring. Or if you want to invite your children to join redistricting, it can be fun too. Just a little humor there. So just some additional tools. Huge thanks to our GIS staff for coming up with so many wonderful tools to make this friendly and accessible to the public who, again, you only do this every 10 years. So thank you to them.
Thank you, Sue. Also, just want to comment for individuals, please invite, neighbors, friends, individuals, because we certainly want the input from the public on our redistricting mapping scenarios. The other thing also, if you came today, we're going to do it again on Thursday. We're doing a session on the 17th at, let's see, what time is that going to be? It's gonna
4
be
p.m.
4 p.m.
4.
So 4 p.m. we're going to be doing this, and so yeah, do your homework.
Look back
at
to
the
those
map
other dates, please.
scenarios. If you have any questions, you certainly can come back to any of them and provide comments through the website through an email. So again, a lot of opportunities. We'll be doing this for the next 4 weeks to put together, get input, and then we'll be wrapping this up or compiling all of the information with it. At the same time, our Board of Supervisors are in attendance to listen, and that's their part of it, is to listen to the input. Of course, they'll be reading the emails that you send in, and so their role is to listen and to take the input. The staff, of course, here is to provide the content that you see before you, and so I just want to make sure that that information is there. And then just another comment. Let me go back to this.
Final slide.
We have some other comments here. So community of interest, Karen Mellis Clark provided. Oh, so the new, so good question. So Marilyn, when do the new districts go into effect? That's a really good question because of the delay in the census that took place and the fact that, we would have done this back in December. It has created some questions with regard to your question here. So the redistricting changes that we're going through today, that the board will be adopting, will actually be in place for the 2024 election cycle. So the current maps that we have in place right now are being used for the 22 election cycle. And so that is a really important part because of the delay, as I indicated, that took place with COVID on the redistricting. It really has thrown the timing of everything off quite a bit. So as I said, the changes to the maps that we're going through that will be adopted in April will actually be used for the 2024 election. Okay, and then Evelyn. Thank you for your comment, Evelyn. Please come back and invite your friends. And then Karen, thank you for the incredibly detailed work required to consider all of the criteria in redistricting. I plan to review the various maps to understand the impact. And Karen Kinney-Herman, thank you so much, Karen, for being here today. So again, let's see, I think there's another one. I think those are it. So Madam Chair, I believe we've gone through Q&A comments, individuals that wanted to speak for us today. And so, Madam Chair, are you ready to make a couple closing comments?
Yes, and then we can adjourn. And I want to thank the staff and especially our GIS staff. This, as you can imagine from those that have listened to the presentation, this has been a unbelievably challenging, difficult for all of us. And they have done a great job and have put up and been very patient with the rest of us. I want to thank our GIS staff and really all the county staff for all their very hard work and really thoughtful consideration in this redistricting. So we look forward to hearing from you. Good job, County Manager and Deputy County Manager, on bringing us through a fairly difficult topic. So, and for you who took your morning and spent some of that morning with us, thank you again, and thank you for your comments. We look forward to hearing from you either at a future hearing or meeting. And also, please feel free to make your comments on redistricting@coconino.az.gov. You can provide your written comments, and of course, all of it will be reviewed and will be considered by the Board of Supervisors. So on behalf of all the members, my 4 other colleagues, Thank you so much for your time, your consideration and attention here for Coconino County. Together, we do build a vibrant Coconino County that serves all of us. So thank you so much for your time and attention today. So with that, I believe we can adjourn.
Thank you all. Thanks to the staff. Take care.
Everyone.